Now when I was a young boy, about the age of 5, my teachers taught me I could be the greatest man alive. They told me I could change the world, be whatever I wanted to be. There was no one in the world like me. Every one of us was so unique. I'd not be an average man. No, sir, I'd be no average man. So I had those big dreams.
Welcome back, everybody, to Eat the Rich. This is a show about our political economy, late-stage capitalism, and the millionaires, billionaires, and multinational corporations hell-bent on staving off its death rattle. I'm Dwight. Oh, fucking Chris.
Yo.
My man.
You should have just gone through the intro. And
My
just
man.
introed it
I
right
know.
there.
I was so excited to see him come on, man.
Perfect timing.
Nice.
Perfect
Fuck.
timing.
What did I miss?
I love me some Chris, man.
I love me some Street Fight. How's it going, guys?
Great, we're okay.
Hell yeah.
How's it going?
Oh, good, man. No, I just fucking what I do for a living is I manage this this men's sober house, like this halfway house. And dude, like this is the second time in a row that we're recording that one of these dudes fucking wants a piece of me, man.
Yeah.
I just had to evict somebody and they wouldn't go peaceably, so my bosses called the police, so I just had to fucking deal with police and shit, which is like something I absolutely never want to do. But here we go. Here I am.
Buddy.
All right, well, that's tough.
So tonight we have Chris.
Howdy.
We've got Shane.
Hello.
And obviously we are extremely pumped to have joining us on Eat the Rich, Brett and Brian from Street Fight Radio. What a pleasure, guys.
Oh, thank you. It's our pleasure.
Yeah, we're glad to be here.
We're together on a rare Tuesday night. Me and Brett sitting across the old table from each other on
Look at that.
non-recording night.
Appreciate you guys clocking in for us.
Oh, no problem. I'm clocked in all the time. I'm always on duty. Sir, Brian Quinby reporting for duty is what I say, like John Kerry back in
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
2004. The greatest speech ever done is John Kerry reporting for duty. And then he does the hand thing.
That's great.
And then we all fucking flipped out, and then we looked over at our grandparents next to us, and we were like, see, Bush didn't even fucking fight in the war, dude.
Right. No, honestly, dude, I'm so embarrassed, like, to admit at this point. I was like 17 years old, and I was like all in for John Kerry, dude.
Me too. You have no idea. I did a fucking thing. I was writing for this website that 15 people probably read for, and we were like, let's do a fucking event to get out the vote. But like the other guy that wrote for the site was a Republican. So then he was like, okay, we can do an event to get out the vote, but it's got to be nonpartisan. And so I did it, and they were like, you're gonna have to go up and like give a speech before one of the bands play. And I fucking almost fainted on stage and just ran out of the place when it was over. I don't even know what I said. It was something like, they don't think you're gonna vote, but you gotta vote. And I jumped off the stage and just took off running out the fucking front door. I was so fucking mortified about it. It's the first time I ever been on stage in my life.
How many people were there?
There was probably 25 people there.
I've never heard this story.
I know.
You're getting a real exclusive right now. I don't even know this story.
It was called Vote You Fuckers.
You were passionate.
And I was just
That's a great. That works though now.
No.
Vote you fuckers.
No, I shared about
that's-
this on Twitter a couple weeks ago. But like, actually, like after Bush won re-election, I was like so distraught by it. Like I did this like very fucking like stupid like performative period of mourning where I literally wore nothing. Like I wore all black to high school every day for 2 weeks, and like people had known.
Chris.
They're like, "What are you just golf now? Like what is this? The fuck are you doing?"
Yeah. I remember
Death
laying
of
in bed
America,
with
man.
That's what happened, laying in bed with my wife and just being like, it's going to be okay. We're going to make it through this. And like now you think about how melodramatic that was in 2004 compared to 2016 when it was like we really did like give the keys to a madman that time, you know? I hope it doesn't increasingly get wilder and wild. Like, Trump is not the craziest person in the world. There's like other people that could be the president,
right,
that are crazier than Donald Trump.
Especially if we fucking like don't nominate Bernie and we nominate another just fucking absolute just worthless centrist liberal, and then they win, and we have 4 years of that, and then they get fucking defeated by like Tom Cotton or some fucking competent psycho. I mean, disastrous.
You say Tom Cotton, and I'm like actually talking about James Woods or like something like that. You know what I mean? What's his name? Amiri King.
Scott Baio
from Facebook. Yeah, mean, like, I think all bets are off at this point, and we're gonna fucking. I can't wait. I mean, honestly, I don't want to see bad things happen to people, and you know, I'm pulling for Bernie here, but also like a part of me is the accelerationist part of my brain is like, I gotta see how wild this thing gets. I mean, I'm alive.
How about this?
You know what I mean?
How about this? President Diamond, Vice President Silk.
Yeah, that could happen. I mean, like, I could see Alex Jones speaking at a Republican National Convention very easily. I can see that happening this year, to tell you the truth. Because I was thinking about this the other day. When you think about the two conventions last time, the Democrats they had the worst people in the world, but they were like stars and celebrities and politicians and shit. And the Republicans had Dana White, Fran Tarkenton, Scott Baio.
Dude.
Like, who is going to be there this year? Like, who is he going to get to cut? One of the guys that, I was just listening to a thing about it today. One of the guys that spoke on the last night of the convention was just a dude that was one of Trump's friends. Saying like, oh, he's a normal, nice guy. You know, he once signed he signed the program at an event for the doorman and handed it to him. I mean, like, this guy's just a really completely normal, nice guy. And it's like, I mean, if you gotta have somebody come out and talk about how normal you are, you're not normal at all.
Dude, it's not outside of the realm of possibility that the Republican National Convention is going to have like Cobra Commander come to fucking give a speech.
I mean, I see Vince McMahon as a possibility, or like Triple H or Stephanie McMahon or somebody like that. I think they're 100% a possibility. I just think we're going to be very, like, Tito Ortiz is probably going to be there. I can't wait. I'm going to be there, so I probably won't be watching it on TV. But
I hope we can. Man, I hope we can make it there as well. We're trying to. We definitely want to go to the DNC. When is the RNC?
August.
Where is it? Is it in New York? Where is it?
Mordor.
It's in Charlotte.
Oh, Jesus.
Mordor.
Yeah, we're going down to Charlotte. They don't do the RNC in New York ever. That's
2004.
Yeah.
2004 they
I knew
did.
there was one in there recently.
Yeah.
Oh, really? The RNC?
Yeah, in 2004.
In 2004, because it was the 9/11 city.
Yeah, and it was 2004.
Yeah.
By the way, fucking Michael Bloomberg spoke at the RNC and endorsing fucking George W. Bush, like the most indefensible endorsement in modern history. George W. Bush in 2004.
Sure. The most indefensible though is definitely just Donald Trump. Like or Hillary Clinton. Hillary, I don't know what that means.
Is it though? The height of the Iraq War, which was just an absolute disaster. You know what I'm saying? Like the thing with Trump is that I can get it. Like I can understand the people that were like, well, this whole shit is so fucked. Hillary sucks. Like, let's fucking take a gamble on an outsider. You know what I'm saying? It's not defensible, but I can understand it. But like an endorsement or a vote for George W. Bush in 2004, fucking fuck off, dude.
Every vote for Bush in 2004 was a person that said you don't change horses in the middle of a war, which I don't even fucking know what that means.
That's the first time I ever heard that. And do you remember the counter to that, which is I saw a bumper sticker or something or a slogan that said you don't change riders mid-apocalypse. That was like the Democrat response.
Oh, God, man, we were all so clever back then. What happened? Yeah. Now we're all just cussing at everybody, and then the news is reporting on it.
I don't even remember where I heard that, because that would have been before Facebook or social media or anything. I don't even remember where I saw that slogan.
I mean, I saw it at Air America Radio. I was listening to a lot of Air America Radio.
Oh, yeah, I was too, actually.
Which it's been really neat. Like, one of the things Air America Radio did that always drove me nuts was, like, they talked about how Republicans were, like, the anti-intellectual party and shit. And it's been really fun to watch Democrats come out against literacy programs over the past few days. Like, after hearing them, toot their horn barns for so long. We're the ones that read. We want everybody to be intelligent and have logic.
I don't know if you guys saw this. I saw the most just powerfully brained take today on Twitter. The guy that said that the literacy programs are authoritarian because like the communists, they wanted people to be literate so that they could feed them communist propaganda, because if they weren't literate they couldn't read the propaganda or whatever. You didn't see that today?
That is.
Yeah, the guy that said that the most anti-communist person he knew and looked up to was his grandfather, who was illiterate. Was that's
the guy. Yeah.
Some
Incredible.
kind of a post right there.
Powerful.
That is
Incredible.
Powerful stuff.
My grandpa was also anti-communist, but that's because he was like a get-rich-quick scheme guy, and he probably was a big-time capitalist. He tried to invent a few things and failed.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Sorry
He's
to
a
hear
loser.
that.
You know what I mean?
I'm sorry.
No, fuck him.
to hear that.
Fuck him. He died in my day. He died. He asked to be spread his ashes in some beach, and my dad hated him so much that he just dumped him on his sister's property.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ. That's dark, man.
That's the Quimby family, baby. I'm probably gonna do the same thing to my dad.
God. Wow.
I have deep family roots. Okay.
Unbelievable.
There's a deep hatred in my family, but it's Ohio, man. My family, my dad chose, not my dad, but my grandfather chose to live in Ohio. Out of all the places he could have gone to, he moved to Columbus, Ohio. So that's why we're all psychos. That's how it all happened. We chose to be here. We didn't just we weren't just born here. We chose it.
Oh my God. Columbus is a hell of a town.
The only time I ever went to Columbus, I went to college at WVU in Morgantown, West Virginia, right? And
I want to do a show there.
I was seeing a band called you ever heard of the Disco Biscuits?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I was seeing a band.
You're a Disco Biscuits guy.
I was in college. I was seeing a band called the Disco Biscuits in fucking Columbus. It's like maybe like Newport Music Hall might have been the venue or something. And we
Hell
had this
yeah.
we had this like very, very, very powerful LSD, and like we tried to time it right so that we would like take it like an hour outside of the city, so that by the time we got parked and got in the venue, like we would be good to go. But like we hit traffic, right? And then we just started like tripping hard, like on the highway coming into town, and then we like get into Columbus, and we're like just lost as fuck, and like the guy driving, like we stop at this like pull over on the side, we pull over this red light or something, and like we roll down the window and we're asking someone for directions, and then the guy we ask, he's like trying to tell us, and he's got this like really terrible stutter, and like my buddy's just like I can't even handle this, and he just drives away like in mid direction, like it was just a fucking disaster. Terrible show too. But beautiful city, I guess.
The
Great
Disco
story.
Biscuits put on a bad show. You know who? I know you guys said you listened to the show. You might have missed. Do you remember the LSD teens? Did you ever hear about those kids?
No, I don't think
recall
so.
that.
So there are these two teenagers from like Champaign, Illinois, and they wanted to see us in Columbus for some reason. We're in fucking Chicago all the time. They wanted to see us here though. So they drove here. They took acid before they started the drive. And when they got here, they were so fucking wasted. They watched the show, jumped in the car, and drove home. And it was just like, that is a brave fucking acid trip there.
You were talking to him too, though, right?
Huh?
Weren't you talking to them? I talked to them.
Yeah, I talked to them a little bit. They brought a book up to me, and they were like, will you write your name in this book? And they were like, this is weird dudes, man. It was cool. I love those kids.
Imagine if the Disco Biscuits came out and talked to you while you were on LSD.
Well, no, the really funny thing that happened that night, so we stayed in a hotel that night because we were going to Cleveland the next day to see them again. We were doing like a little tour. I was big into them.
Big fan.
Yeah, and we were staying at this like shitty Econo Lodge, I think, on the outside of town, like this industrial area or something. And we were all just like fucking tripping balls in this hotel all night. And like sometime around like probably 3 or 4 in the morning, I don't remember who came up with it, but like one of us asked like, who was that actor? Who was the guy who was on Law and Order? And none of us could think of it. And we were like, just driving each other crazy trying to think of this. But like, we didn't have, like, this was before smartphones. We had no way to like Google it. So we were like calling people we knew and like, hey, who was the actor? Who was the guy that was on Law and Order, right? And it was like fucking like, dude, it's 3 a.m. Like, what are you doing? So what we decided we were going to do is like, they had a continental breakfast. So we were going to wait. So we're like, okay, we're going to wait till 6 or 7 in the morning, whatever. And then we're going to go downstairs to the continental breakfast and we're going to ask people, you know, who was the actor from Law and Order. But it was like, we got down there, it was like all old ladies. And we're like, well, we can't scare them. So we can't just approach them. So we had to like pretend we pretended to have the same conversation we had in the hotel room that led us to come up with it in the first place. Like, oh, hey, between ourselves, like, hey, who was that guy? Blah, blah, blah. I was watching Law and Order. You know, I can't remember the actor's name or something. And, you know, and then like we turned to them and they're like, do you know? You know, looked at us like we were absolutely fucking crazy. Sam Waterston was who it was. But the funniest thing is that they probably literally watched us like and heard us like, hey, look, we can't scare these old ladies. We can't just come out and ask them.
Oh, I miss getting all fucked up in public. I'm too scared now.
Jesus Christ. Oh, God. I don't want to waste time. We could be fucking dunking on Les Wexner while I'm fucking just howling alone into the microphone, so please forgive me.
I love Les Wexner. We're big Les Wexner guys. He's never done anything bad. He's a hometown hero.
He's a hometown hero for you guys, yeah?
Yeah, big hometown hero here. Everybody loves him. They love his center. There's a place called the Wexner Center that I actually go to. They get great fucking art and all kinds of stuff, and it's like it's very funny that it's still called the Wexner Center now. Like, Wexner's name hasn't come off of anything in this city. It's all fucking, you can come here and you can see Les Wexner's name every 5 blocks.
What?
Well,
yeah,
wild.
I mean, the fallout's still catching up with them. The Epstein thing. I mean, he only just like, this is timely because I believe he just stepped down as CEO like 4 days ago.
That's correct.
Yeah, but I don't think that, like, in Columbus, they're just going to pretend it's not happening.
Oh, yeah,
I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, nothing's going to happen to him.
Yeah. So, I mean, I grew up in Reynoldsburg, which was the distribution center for like limited brands. Les Wexner made his money basically off of all of the mall brands that you know and love, like Limited and Bath and Body Works and Victoria's Secrets. Hollister and Abercrombie got started at Limited Brands or purchased or something, and then eventually got broken off. And that's owned by a different sex creep. But Les Wexner is somebody in like Columbus everybody knows about him.
Well, every hillbilly that drinks 1 beer for breakfast has worked for Les Wexner in Ohio.
Yeah, there's lots of there's just lots of vague stories like, oh yeah, I did his gutters once. It was just it was crazy. It was so big. It was just the most amazing place you've ever seen. And there was TVs in every room.
There's a fucking elevator. I knew one of the guys that did cable at his house, and they're like, this motherfucker has an elevator at his house, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. But
that's real rich people shit, man.
Yeah, it's like, why can't you walk up this? Like, why does he need an elevator? But I'll say this though. From the time I was very young, I have heard he's a sex pest. Like, from the very earliest days, I had heard stuff about him. And, he was at war, like in a media war with one of the guys that owns Nationwide, or that was running Nationwide Insurance at one point. And they were putting up nasty billboards about each other that ended up getting taken down and shit. Like, he is like such a fixture here. It is very weird. And people do call him a freak. Like, basically, anybody who hasn't met him that's like a working class or middle class person, we all think he's a fucking freak. All of us do.
What was the nature of the beef between him and the Nationwide guy? Like, what were the billboards? What did they say?
I have to look that up.
I really don't know. Yeah, I don't remember.
Was it like the Bloomberg billboards that were like, Les Wexner cheats at golf?
No, it was that Life Comes at You Fast campaign is what it was, and they on the side of a building, but I don't know why I said it like that. They had like 3 buildings, and it was like Life Comes at You Fast, and the third one was this old guy they were goofing on. I don't remember how, but it was Les Wexner's likeness, and it it was supposedly a jab, and it did get taken down.
It says, have you ever yearned to see a shirtless Les Wexner grasping a woman like the hero of a romance novel? No, that's too bad. Thanks to Nationwide Insurance, you have no choice. And the company's newest downtown advertisement, a 3-part wallscape just south of its high street headquarters, a youthful Fabio appears on 2 successive panels with an attractive woman. He's a rippling, so it was 2 Fabios, right? So It's Life Comes at You Fast, and it's a romance novel. First panel, Fabio hugging on a woman. Second panel, Fabio hugging on a woman or something. Third panel, fucking Les Wexner hugging on a woman. And Les Wexner threw a big fucking fit and had it taken down in downtown. And it's wild because Nationwide Insurance and Les Wexner are the 2 most powerful entities in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, and just to fill in a little bit more of the legend of Les Wexner, and what my family always griped about him is he lived out in this city called New Albany, which it's not Columbus, but it's right at the edge of this smaller freeway, and the houses are very expensive out there, and it's very secluded. But and I don't know whether this is even true or not. It just is. Everybody told
whatever you're saying is
allegedly parody. Allegedly
he required white fences line every single road of fucking New Albany.
Okay, let me explain this.
Psycho shit.
Actually, he didn't personally say, in order for me, Les Wexner, to develop here, you need to put white picket fences along the highways. But he is the major investor in the New Albany Country Club and the neighborhood that surrounds the New Albany Country Club, and he demanded the white picket fences around that neighborhood and that golf club, which takes up a significant portion of New Albany, which makes it look like it's all white picket fences and shit like that. But he did have something to do with it.
I just went on Street View and I just randomly went to East Dublin Granville Road, and it is lined with white picket fences.
Yeah. It's wild. Like the wildest thing about it is like the urban downtown part of Columbus. Basically, if you open a business down here, I live downtown. If you open a business down here and it's successful, they open and the next one gets open in New Albany. So they basically have like a second downtown urban center that's in a weird fake mall type part of the city.
And also, the last thing I know about him, also with his insane reach, is that there was supposedly a Christian radio station in town, and at the top of their satellite tower, they had a cross on it, and Les Wexner wrote them, and I think offered to pay, but insisted that they move it so that he couldn't see the cross from his house. And that's also that's a good Protestant cool work ethic. That's like a bricklayer that goes to church every Sunday cussing at Les Wexner because he moved the damn cross. That's how I've heard that story in my day.
I mean, so he's like a cartoonish kind of local villain here, but like hearing the bigger stuff, it's like, man, he's so much worse. Like we already projected like all of our city's ills on this guy, but he seems so much worse now.
I mean, he seems to be literally the person who made Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, like his main benefactor, you know? I mean, Jeffrey Epstein claimed, supposedly ran this hedge fund, even though there's absolutely no evidence that he ever ran a hedge fund. There's no data about it. There's no employees. There's no known clients other than Les Wexner, who just seems to have literally given him, like, what is it, like $250 million or something? Gave him power of attorney, gave him gave him his Boeing 727, gave him the fucking $13 million mansion he lives in Manhattan. I mean, I haven't seen this relationship like fully explained,
I think Epstein is so lucky too that Les didn't make him live in Ohio. If I was Epstein's rich benefactor, I would have made him live in Ohio. Like, motherfucker, you got to live in New Albany, but you also get to fly the Lolita Express.
There is a story about Epstein being in, I believe in Columbus in 1996 at one of Wexner's properties. I don't know if it was in Columbus or it was in New Albany or where it was, but there's a story about Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell being there and attacking a woman, on the property there, Wexner's home. There's a signed affidavit, and she also alleged that Wexner's security staff wouldn't let her leave the property initially.
Jesus, yeah.
Fucking terrifying.
I guess like I'm just wondering, like I don't understand the Epstein stuff that I know comes from Twitter and from Brace and stuff
of
like
course.
that, like conversations I've had with Brace
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And I have been I have to leave early tonight so I can do a podcast about Bill Simmons, who has as a regular guest Malcolm Gladwell, who ended up
Oh Lord.
who is also on the flight.
Yeah, another
logs.
Lolita
Yeah.
Express All-Star.
But the thing about that is like they asked him about it and he explained it, and for some reason I believe him. But then it's like, I don't know, why was he on the Lolita Express? You know, because they asked him why he was on the flight logs, and he said, hey, you know, they just offered me a flight. But that's what everybody's saying. You know, everybody's like, oh, they just offered me a free flight. It's nothing, you know? But Wexner seems like he was like, Les Wexner is a sex pervert, not allegedly.
Allegedly.
Not allegedly.
Allegedly.
I'm gonna back up Brian.
Come
here.
and get me.
Not
Parody.
allegedly.
Come and get me, Les Wexner. Come and get me.
No.
You sex pervert.
No litigation, please.
I'll defend myself in court. If you're not a coward, come and sue me, Les Wexner.
Just so we get the attribution correct. That was Brian Quimby of the Street Fight Radio program.
You non-alleged sex pest predator. Sorry, guys. I
No,
just,
No, it's good.
By all
This
means.
is not our first rodeo. There's just what's unfortunately lost in all of this discourse is like what a shit like 1980s oligarch he was. Like, because he spent the entirety of his career, and I'm trying to find this. They were talking about like as many billionaire oligarch stories start. They always start with like, oh, he was a precocious kid that really wanted to work hard. And they were talking about how he had basically told his dad, like, Dad, you fucking suck at running your own clothing store, and so I'm gonna take it over. And they were like, he as a kid was working from like 7 a.m. till 11 at night, like a fucking like a turn of the century like Ebenezer Scrooge's clerk.
So basically his dad did his dad run the Limited? What kind of clothing store? Do you know what his dad was doing?
It's just like a general clothing store, right? I believe everything.
I think they named it after him.
Yes,
It was called Leslie's.
correct.
Oh, I see.
Correct.
Ugh. Bad name. So did Les Wexner take it from like general regular person clothes to like cheap high fashion type of thing? Is that kind of his story?
Essentially, yeah. I mean, but there wasn't.
I believe initially the business model was like to sell just like the things that move at a higher volume, like pants and undergarments and stuff like that. I think that was the whole story with Limited, the way that place started.
Obviously, this is like, you know, gone through many iterations of like public relations, you know, tailoring. But yeah, basically that's what. Yeah, nice. I got the pun in there.
Yeah, nice pun there. Nice pun. That was good.
But yeah, he did like a back of the napkin analysis to be like, wait, Dad, you know, on the higher volume stuff, you're making a lower profit margin, but you can actually sell more of it. So like get rid of the fucking skirts and just sell like pleated pants or something like that. And so that's where he said that he was bringing all of his value. But really, he's selling cheap clothes. Like it's not, none of this shit is like rocket science. He's selling cheap clothes.
Yeah.
No, that's an innovation. That's a special, entrepreneurial idea to sell a cheap product. That's a brilliant idea. Nobody's ever had that idea before, to sell a cheaper version of a shitty product. Yeah.
I was in an argument with my father-in-law one time, and I was saying we need to it was something like we need to take Jeff Bezos. I know where the money is, and it's Jeff Bezos has it. And he was like, you gotta be really careful when you say stuff like that, because innovators only innovate because of financial benefit. And I was like, what did he innovate? A store? Like, are you saying he invented stores? Because that's like, really what he did. He made up a store. Oh, good, neat, cool.
He was brilliant to run a distribution center. First of its kind. Trucks go in, trucks go out. Nobody had that before.
Yeah. He invented the idea of packages. Nobody had ever sent a package before.
Yes.
Before Amazon.
But the thing about Limited is that, like, it was actually, at least in Columbus, like, that was where popular kids shop. Like, expensive type people shopped at that place.
Oh, I see.
There was also Structure was part of it for fancy dudes that looked like they were in boy
Now
bands.
they just call it Express for Men.
Yeah.
I have to read for you guys this one paragraph that was from an article on him from 1986 in the New York Times. And my blood vessels just like all constricted at the same time to shoot blood out of my eyes when I read this. It says, while third world sewing machines are stitching to the Limited's beat, Leslie Wexner is circling the globe in his new Gulfstream jet. In Tokyo, he introduces his company to Japanese institutional investors. After checking in with mast suppliers in Hong Kong and touring his factories in Mauritius, he heads for Jerusalem. There, Wexner goes into closed meetings with Ariel Sharon and a clutch of government officials. The topic, a plan to set up 3 apparel plants near the Golan Heights.
Oh, of course.
Jointly owned by the Limited and Chinese and Israeli interests.
Fuck, dude.
I like the first line of that where it's like the sewing machines are going to his beat or rhythm.
Nice
And it made me
editorial
think of
flair there.
the scene from Metropolis where like the Moloch machine is just like eating workers. Film Twitter will get it. All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Never mind. Fuck you guys.
If
I haven't seen that movie. It sounds fancy to me.
It's from the 1920s. It's German.
Whoa,
Metropolis.
whoa. I don't watch movies without guns, and I don't watch movies before the 70s, okay? Let's cool it here.
Shane, I'm sure Shane could crack out a fucking John Wick reference or two as well. Don't worry.
I gotta just read this too. One more paragraph. It says, Wexner also has a vision of establishing factories in Egypt and Jordan. He is one of the largest individual contributors to the United Jewish Appeal in America, and some have wondered if his Middle Eastern moves are designed to foster peace. He smiles at the suggestion. We're not knitting sweaters to unify the world, he says. This is just a good opportunity for us.
Fuck.
He doesn't give a shit.
It is. I mean, man, their journalism used to be better for sure. I mean, I like the way that whole thing was phrased. It sounded like he's just flying around the globe, like connecting dots, right? Like, let's all make money together, right? China, Jerusalem, and America, right here in Golan Heights, making sweaters to unify everything.
Yeah, me and my good friend Jeffrey.
Yeah, I like his honesty a little bit, though, man, because most people would say that they're doing it for some altruistic reason.
Yeah,
that's true.
You can find every billionaire is like, oh, I'm doing it because I think that, like, the way to peace is to have people sew my sweaters for 3 cents a day, and then they'll see how great capitalism is, and we'll live in a great world. But Les Wexner said, I'm trying to get some sweaters made, dude.
He's like, I've flown around the country. We can make money off of poor people everywhere.
Very Ohio. That's a Midwestern
That
attitude.
is very
yes.
Midwestern. Like, all these assholes will take $1.
It's fucking wild. But keep in mind, like, the cultural context, too. Like, this article was written in the same year that Wall Street came out, the movie. No guns, unfortunately, in that, but...
There's boobies in it, probably, though, so I probably would have watched it.
It's true. In the
I
limousine.
said boobies. I'm, like, embarrassed by saying boobies just now on your show.
He meant boot nose.
I meant titties.
Please, we try to use scientific terms.
We're gonna clip that for the preview.
No,
Do the beep.
we do bleep a lot of stuff here, but it's mostly actionable shit that I just can't have go out.
Don't bleep me calling out Les Wexner.
I'm not gonna let him. Not if I have anything to say about it.
No. No. But yeah, this was in like the fucking, the coked up go, greed is good 80s. Like the guy we talked about last week,
Well,
Michael
this is
Milken.
also
Same
there
shit.
is plenty. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, just saying same shit. And I was just distracted because I just saw that there's a town called Africa, Ohio.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's right next to Harlem, Ohio, actually. Tell you, like, there's a whole thing going on up there.
What a fascinating state you guys have.
It is. It truly is. I mean, it's a wonder we get to live here.
But just to go back to this, I mean, with the Jeffrey Epstein shit, the actual specific charges that people have come out about and talked about are fucking terrifying. If I could read something here to you guys, there was an article that came out in July last year. Just says how Jeffrey Epstein used the billionaire behind Victoria's Secret for wealth and women. And it says, in May 1997, Alicia Arden, a model in California, was introduced to a man who identified himself as a talent scout for Victoria's Secret. He invited her into his Santa Monica hotel room to audition for the brand's catalog. When she arrived, Miss Arden said, the man grabbed her, tried to undress her, and said he wanted to manhandle her. Miss Arden, then 27, fled in tears. It was the type of crisis that should not have come as a complete surprise for leaders at L Brands. What the fuck does that even mean? But okay.
That's the where you get the good clothes.
Limited brands.
No, but it was the type of crisis that should not have come as a surprise to the leaders.
Oh, got it.
Implying like this is a commonplace thing. It says, in the mid-1990s, 2 senior executives had discovered that the same man, a close advisor to the chief executive, Leslie Wexner, was trying to pitch himself as a recruiter for Victoria's Secret models.
Yeah.
This is his buddy?
Turns out that man was Jeffrey Epstein. That was Jeffrey Epstein.
It was. Okay.
And so, the question is, does Les Wexner know about this? He's got plausible deniability, I guess. But, I mean, probably. I mean, they got Epstein was very involved in recruiting his victims out of the MC2 modeling agency as well in Miami, which was where a lot of Victoria's Secret's models came from. So their whole Victoria's Secret's model recruitment, structure, and Epstein's victim recruitment thing. There's a whole lot of overlap there.
Yeah. I think I don't know. The Epstein stuff is so weird because somebody had to know what the fuck he was doing. He's like this thing where everybody didn't know what this guy was doing, and Les Wexner seems to me to be the person that was closest and probably can't deny knowing what he was up to, especially in the business that Les Wexner's in, where they hire models and shit like that. I guess he does have what's the word, plausible deniability, but I don't really buy it. I think Les Wexner's a pervert.
And I think probably if you're running around and jet setting in those circles, the people that get that much money feel like they're bulletproof, and they are creeps. So I think that it's kind of like having a good drug dealer connection is how I feel is what he's doing is in the grossest way to think about it.
Yeah. And there almost seems to be to me the most likely explanation almost seems to be blackmail of some sort. Why is Les Wexner why is he giving him this fucking $13 million plus mansion? Why is he giving him a jet? Why is he giving him power of attorney? Why is he giving him literally hundreds of millions of dollars through various trusts and charities and stuff like this? What explanation is that other than this guy has got the goods on me? I fucked around, I got too close to this guy, I fucking did some shit, he's got evidence of it, and I fucking gotta give him whatever he wants now, basically.
I mean, look, think about draw a direct line from the shit that we learned yesterday, right? Yesterday, we're recording this on Tuesday. Yesterday, the Weinstein verdict came out.
Right.
Guilty on 2 of the 5 charges. So it was in the case of Weinstein, an open secret. Right? Same thing. It's everybody kind of knows that this is a thing that's going on, but because they have their hands on the levers of power, it disallows you from being able to question it, and you'll get fucking sued or NDA'd or something like that, or they would feel like they're not going to be able to get a modeling contract or something like that if they don't, go through with this or something like that. It's just the structure of power that absolutely corrupts and perverts them. And it happened.
It's like we're constantly deferring. We're just deferring to the people that are accused. It's I don't know, Les Wexner has always been the guy in charge, so how could anybody hold him accountable? So I guess we probably shouldn't try. I see it as people just not wanting to stop and investigate this stuff and really talk about how really accept what is going on.
I mean, who who could go after Les Wexner? Like what
You would think. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm stupid, but I think some sort of justice organization.
the press,
the police do something.
Yeah,
So
I guess
yes.
I'm going to be stupid right now and just say, could the police try to at least stop a kid fucker?
No, true. Yes, the police could, but they aren't looking at rich people. They don't like they're not
Yeah,
like
they're
trying
paid to stay away.
They're going after poor people. They're actually like sitting outside of rich people sitting next to rich people making sure poor people don't accidentally touch them or something.
Yeah, making fucking overtime.
And that's what I mean. They're deferring. They're basically saying like they'd go to arrest Les Wexner and he'd be like, "What are you doing?" And like, I'm sorry, sir. I'm gonna leave. I'll make sure no one's on your property or anything like that. You know. I
Well,
mean,
look,
I don't.
I mean, we're the five of us are coming at this from a male perspective, and so we haven't been in that position of what it's like to be a woman going through this. But my understanding is the justice system is set up to put the onus, the burden of proof on the victim. It ends up being the victim that has to do all of the work to try to move through the process of a burdensome court of law to explain and try to convict the person that fucking sexually assaulted them.
And plus, and we don't even know if someone had tried what someone like Les Wexner is capable of. Like, we do know, for instance, that Harvey Weinstein, hired didn't he hire like outside contractors, like former Mossad agents and whatnot, like black cubes to like harass and intimidate victims.
State level intelligence
Wexner is absolutely not the exact same kind of thing.
Allegedly.
Right. There isn't any. I don't know that there is. Like, we don't have anything set up to go after people with any kind of significant power. Like, there is nobody in Columbus, Ohio, which is where you would think would be the place that you would go after Les Wexner in. There is nobody here that has the ability to do that. Like, nobody. I can't think. And then you look up and you're like, the FBI? No, the FBI isn't doing that. They're too busy, like, framing Muslim teens for trying to take batteries to a fucking gas can. And, like, then you're like, so who else is there? Like, there isn't anybody. We, like, have no way to go after people in power. And, in Columbus, it's like, he employs. I mean, it's hard to explain how much of this city is employed by Les Wexner,
Fuck, man.
Like I'm talking like half of this city works for fucking Nationwide and the other half works for Les Wexner.
So he's got his corporate headquarters there. Does he have like factories and processing? I mean, what's he got there? Distribution centers?
The main distribution center is here.
I see.
And the headquarters where they do all of they've got the mock store in there where they do all of the staging and everything, and that's the HQ.
Mall Easton is a major thing owned by him.
He owns this gigantic indoor-outdoor mall called Easton. I forgot all about that. But it was supposed to be like a showcase basically for the brands that he owned. And those are like some of the flagship stores where they go and send people to go, like fold the clothes overnight and do special testing when it comes to clothing arrangement and all of that. I worked for the Hollister store overnight, and we were one of the only stores in the country, but we like all of our stuff was the display pictures that they sent out to the other stores.
Wow.
So there's like a big connection to the mall and all those mall brands. I mean, that is how he made his money.
So I have to mention, in preparation for this episode, I was like looking at the what the business model of L Brands is, and kind of looking at how the changing market has affected them, right? Like affected the actual brand, the actual stock price and shit like that. Because what's funny too, firstly, he until he stepped down last week, he was the longest serving CEO in the S&P 500. Now that he's out, that goes to friend of the show, Warren Buffett.
Oh, fuck him, dude.
Episode to come.
Literally the biggest psycho of all of them.
Just absolutely. But in 2015, the stock, L Brand stock, reached a height of $100 per share, basically. Now it's trading at $23 per share. And if you think about like what's happened to like the American shopping mall over the last whatever, it's fucked. Like nobody goes to malls to shop like this anymore. And while I don't like when people just kind of like offshoot the complete degradation of our political economy, just saying, well, fucking Amazon, whatever. Like this is how things happen. Like for something like brands like Victoria's Secret and Bath and Body Works, like it's it's pretty low stuff, and it just doesn't play. No one's going to malls anymore. And to that point, I don't know if you guys have seen one of my favorite YouTube series is a YouTube channel by Dan Bell that's called the Dead Mall series.
I love that shit. Yeah.
It's fucking bleak out there, bro.
I have this weird fear of large, empty, like decommissioned department stores. Like I don't like to stand next to them. I have like just weird feelings when I stand next to them that I can't quite explain, but I get freaked out by it. So like once a mall starts dying, I don't ever go back. You know, because it freaks me out to be there. I get real nervous about it for some reason.
I think it's weird. I didn't know about that YouTube series, but I'm going to check it out because I'm like fascinated by that type of stuff. I'm from Richmond, Virginia originally, and we had a mall called Cloverleaf Mall. And actually, if you've ever watched the television show Doug, remember Doug on Nickelodeon from like the early 90s?
Hell yeah.
That show was based on like Richmond, and the mall in that show was called the Four Leaf Clover Mall, and it was based on that mall. That mall, like in the mid 90s, it just started like, I mean, they built some other malls like further out in the suburbs and stuff, right? And this one was closer to the city in like a rougher area. People stopped going to it, and like all the stores like started closing down. And then like in the late 90s, there was a double murder there. Like two employees that worked at the dollar store or something there got murdered in the store. They never solved it. And then like it stayed, like the mall stayed open for like the next probably 15 years before they finally closed it and tore it down. But like, dude, you go to it, like after those murders, fucking nobody went to it. Like you go in there, I believe there was a Sears that stayed open, but like there was like the big anchor Sears, but like the rest of the inside of the mall, like, I mean, vacant, completely vacant and decaying.
Terrifying.
The one thing I wanted to say, I just wanted to throw out there was that Les Wexner also owns one of the world's largest yachts.
Yes.
$100 million yacht, and it's called, because originally, you know, his brand was called the store, the Limited. His yacht is called the Limitless.
Oh, fucking brilliant.
It's 315 feet long. It's one of the largest yachts in the world, and there are a bunch of fan-made YouTube videos about how cool this yacht is that you can look up.
Shane, I don't want to believe that's true.
That's pathetic.
Yeah, there is a channel called Super Yacht Fan with 13,000 subscribers. It's just pictures of cool yachts. Cool luxury yachts.
They're claiming it's a $100 million yacht.
Yeah, they're like, this is cool.
That's 2 Flint, Michigan remediations.
Yep.
Other thing I just remembered too is that he owns Express Brands, which is our one of our largest amphitheaters. It's like the only outdoor amphitheater that we have. Like My Morning Jacket will play there, or
wow.
Fucking Mars Volta, I saw them there. Who else have I seen there? Ween.
Hell yes, dude.
You like Ween?
Now you're talking my language. Hell yes.
Yeah, Disco Biscuits guy.
I'm a big fish guy too.
Yeah, so Express Live, it's named after Express Brands. And, you know, like you were talking about earlier, I believe what the popularity of his stuff was, you know, starting like the mall brands where you had to go to the mall to get the clothes, because in the 70s there was a lot of clothing that was just generically made, and then like a Sears tag or like a Kmart tag was put on it, and then they identified like an individual brand being like this important thing, and they developed their stuff. But at this point, I mean, there's so much direct to consumer fast fashion on Instagram that there's no way that you would leave your house to go pay full price on a pair of cargo pants when like there's some Osaka streetwear outlet has them for $24, you know, straight to you, you know.
To that point, Brett, I have to go back to this article from the 1980s, because I was reading it before and I was like, I'll read it and we'll just see like this economy that they were talking about just straight up does not exist anymore. And there's just a paragraph and a half here, and it reads, this is from that 1980s article about Les Wexner and his brands. It says, Verna K. Gibson, the president of the division, calls on the buyers one by one. They offer up their discoveries. garments gleaned from their perpetual shopping tours of markets at home and abroad. The clothing is passed from hand to hand, discussed and argued over. Ultimately, there is only one question: will it sell? Retailing legends have grown out of those meetings. 3 years ago on a trip to Italy, Verna Gibson spotted teenagers in Florence buying bulky yachting sweaters. They took the Monday night session by storm. The sweater was copied, in 7th Avenue parlance, knocked off, and under the division's private label, Forenza, sold by the millions. So it shows you that, like, this shit doesn't happen anymore. Like, do you think there's fucking agents from fucking H&M or something like that, or even the Limited now, for anybody from L Brands that are like flying to fucking Rome or Belgrade to see what the kids are doing and copy it? No way. They just come up with things and just shove it down our throats because we have no choice. We don't have much choice as a consumer than to go to either these shitty dying malls to buy their just completely fucking cheap clothing that only lasts for one season, or go to a big box store, which is just the same thing from the same factory, but just under a different label, under a Walmart label or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a change because I think that those brands still are paying all of that overhead, I believe, to go to probably China and oversee factories and what they're able to do with embroidery or whatever, and make like an Abercrombie shirt or make like an Express button up, or, you know, they try to innovate to make it like 1 cent cheaper per shirt that they make.
Oh yeah.
But the high retail price is just not, nobody has the money for this type of stuff anymore. No one, like, I feel the average person now is more likely to go on wish.com or to go on Amazon and just take a risk on the spandex dress shirt that they have on there for $18, because you're right, it probably is made right next to the Express ones. They just put a different tag in it.
This is how it works now. It's just basically arbitrage between like a few pennies of labor.
Yes.
Between whichever Eastern country you're working with. I remember reading something about this a while ago that was talking about the competition of textile manufacturers between Bangladesh and Vietnam. And it was like an entire factory will be fired because in Vietnam, because the Bangladesh factory was like, 2 cents cheaper per unit. And I'm sure, and like anybody I'm sure what they send over is just like a CAD drawing, right? Like a computer aided design. They'll just like the parent company will just send whatever spec they want, and then the factory will produce it.
And I hate to get too old school dad on here, but I want to say that my old school dad was right. It's like, why would you ever pay money to have the brand name of the fucking shirt on your clothes? Why would you advertise for them? Why would you ever go buy a shirt that says, why would you pay money to have it to advertise for somebody else? There's just no good sense of it at all. It's created out of this feeling of not being a part of the in crowd or not having the right things, and you just want that stamp of approval that says Abercrombie or North Face or Express or Limited or Victoria's Secrets. It's like, I don't feel sexy when I put on my department store underwear, even though my husband is still horny as hell. I have to have the reassurance that if I spent $38 on a pair of underwear, that these are the right ones or whatever, and it's, this is a bunch of guys doing the show. So I'm not pointing at the finger at anyone. It's just that it's a big part of how this guy made his money is the Victoria's Secret aspect, in light of all the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, really makes it so that this should be somebody that just gets rousted up by the community and is like, there's just
absolutely.
That might be a bleeperino right there.
It's fine.
It's just like it is. It's very frustrating because even if I wanted to believe in meritocracy and all of that, you just find out that the people who have the most money are fucking sex pests, are predators and creeps, and are using their money to gain power over people.
Yes.
That, I mean, we can't fight back against Les Wexner's economic power. He drives around in a fucking $100 million boat just for fun,
Fucking unreal. Fucking unreal.
You know what Brian was telling me? Because like I'm kind of a math nerd in a way where I like breaking apart numbers and understanding them and everything. But he was like, man, I really like this Mike Bloomberg discussion because somebody explained that a billion was like 100 million. And then all of a sudden that made me like super fucking mad, you know? Like
1,000 million?
It's 1,000
1,000 million. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, 1,000 million. I don't even know it myself.
Actually, Brett. Oh man, I'm that guy now.
No, it's right. No, you're right. I got it wrong. I don't care. I don't have to know. I know it's a lot.
Yeah.
But 1,000 million is yeah. I mean, it's just something it's incomprehensible. It's one of those. It's what's frustrating, and I think it's why you should talk about these people and the vast amounts of wealth that they have, because they aren't doing cool stuff like helping people out for just a crumb of the amount of interest that they make per day. They're spending it on Jeffrey Epstein.
Exactly that. And maybe just to like start to put a bow on this stuff, like I was thinking about this beforehand. I was like, you've got this absolutely immensely wealthy billionaire,
Right,
spent his entire career making money off brands which were just expressly targeting the sexualization of women's bodies, who then had this just decades-long association with Epstein, potentially one of the worst pedophilic criminals in history. And what the fuck is his legacy? Like, he made a fortune on exploited workers in manufacturing and in retail, and didn't change a thing for the lives of the working class except to, transfer money from their pockets to his.
right. And because like you were saying, Brad, like even if someone is spending money, like even that little bit of the pennies, crumbs of their wealth that they give supposedly to help people, like what is that really going to? Like we discussed last week on the episode with Michael Milken, like what does that go to other than like essentially just buying an indulgence? You know what I'm saying? Like just to soothe their own conscience about maybe the evil things they're doing, but maybe more importantly than that, to cement their legacy. So they have their fucking, like, even after he's dead, he's got his name on a fucking, a fucking outdoor venue in the wing of a hospital, then you can say, oh, well, look at all these good things I did for my community. But what is it really about other than his own fucking legacy and his own ego?
Man, you know what? I'm for real. I mean, I don't know if I can do this all I don't think I can do this all by myself, but going through all of this, I think that Columbus should have a reckoning with this. I think that there should be an uncomfortable conversation where we protest this and say that, like, this fucking guy shouldn't have his name all over the city, because it is really a huge part of Columbus. The guy has his tentacles in everything here. And I don't want to go see art at the Wexner Center anymore. Like, I want them to fucking change it, and I want it to be a public discourse about it,
Yeah, no, I think that's really interesting, Brett. I mean, like, obviously, if we have our way, right, and if we create a new political economy that works for the working class rather than for fucking, like, literally 20 people, like, Leslie Wexner's legacy will be a shameful one, right? Like, we'll look back and we'll say, the fact that any one of these people had this amount of excess and had the ability to change the lives for the better, and garnered all of that money at the detriment of the people that made him rich. Like, we will shame these people's names in history for perpetuity, ideally.
It is, and it's funny with all this rhetoric too about like Bernie Sanders in Cuba, in that we should have like cultural stories where we tell them, like, one time there was a man that we put in charge of all the t-shirts and jeans and all of the women's underwear, and he ended up being an incredible sexual abuser. Like, we should never give anybody the power to all the fucking to make money off of every fucking clothing item sold at the mall,
I've said this on the program before, and I'll say it again just because I think about this all the time. Like, the analogy that I came up with was like a billionaire is holding a satchel of vaccines, and there's a contagion and everyone's dying around him, and even though he only needed one vaccine, he's holding on to the satchel of vaccines because he's just like, I just want them all. Like, you'll never spend. He was worth, I think it was like in 2018, $6.1 billion. I imagine that's much less now that the stock price has decreased by, like, it was a fifth of what it was 5 years ago. But he'll still never, ever, ever spend that much money.
Yeah. And like you said, I mean, Ohio State University, Wexner Medical Center.
Yep.
I forgot about that one too, that he works with OSU. And it was all for nothing. It was not because this guy was great at all, you know?
So he goes home now. He's retired. Yeah, maybe he, checks his stock price and stuff like that and asks, I'm sure maybe he's on the board or something like that. And then he goes and just like sits alone in the den and eats popcorn and watches fucking Lou Dobbs. Like, what the fuck is all of this for?
And it's the kind of thing, too, where, like, whenever one of these fucking old pieces of shit dies and everybody celebrates it on Twitter, and, like, I'm a part of that sort of stuff, too. But, like, I mean, what do you celebrate? You know what I mean? Like, he won.
Yeah.
He lived his whole life. He got everything he ever wanted. He exploited people at every step of the way, and then he died at like 80-something years old, in his fucking silk sheets of natural causes. You know what I'm saying? Never having once to think critically about the effect that he had on the rest of the world.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, this is hard. This is why I don't know. I can't square it with. I just know there's people in Columbus and people that I'm related to and that are of a different opinion that we shouldn't put a cap on wealth and we shouldn't put we should let people succeed and these people earn their way there. Like you said, there's this. We were saying earlier about Jeff Bezos, like, he was delivering books from his garage, or Jeffrey Epstein was this really smart young kid, and it's a matter of economic power. We just defer to that because we can't do anything else, because otherwise we'll get fucking ruined. Like, if you don't have the economic power to to object to what's going on, like those people were talking about in the 90s in the L Brands offices, there's not going to be a change.
Right.
And the one thing that I've said to Brian a lot about the Epstein thing is that there is at least a lot of us that do know that it happened and are kind of tuned into stuff and know that they're lying and all of that. And I think that it is more rewarding. The social media is still so brand new. We haven't even, I don't feel like we fully even got in the pocket when it comes to how comfortable we are with hearing everybody else's thoughts all the time. But the one aspect of it that is changing things for the good, and I think this is part of the Bernie Sanders movement as well, is that you're finally, there's other people behind these accounts, there's people's posting. Obviously there's a lot of bots out there, but I've also been on Twitter now for 10 years, and there's folks that I've known since then, and they also don't buy into this shit, and they also know what's up, and it makes you feel sane again. Before there was documentation, before there was podcasts to do stuff like this and have people openly talk about this stuff, you were insane. You were, when we were talking about the John Kerry stuff earlier, I was considered a bad time at parties. That's all I was. I was just a Debbie Downer because I would say that rich people are exploiting us, or that money is the root of all evil, or the government is corrupt, or whatever it may be. But now at this point, there's an undeniable amount of folks that are just succumbing to what's right in front of them. And that's like the Democrats and the Republicans are protecting rich pedophiles and are just trying to maintain the status quo in their own interest. And I think that more people are seeing that, and there's a lot of camaraderie that comes from having other people out there see the same thing, and that you're not just losing your mind, that they killed Jeffrey Epstein right in front of us like that.
No, I gotta say, man, on that point, like a couple years ago, like I spent a number of years, I had a couple of real bad years, like homeless out in California and dealing with drug addiction and stuff like that. And when I first moved here to New York, and I started getting on my feet about 3 years ago, and I first discovered you guys' show, and like that's what did that for me, honestly, was working in this shitty, like, dead-end job in this college cafeteria, and like I would listen to you guys' show, and I was like, okay, like I don't fucking, like, there are other people who are seeing the same shit that I'm seeing. Like, this makes me feel, less insane that there's other people out there that are feeling what I'm feeling and seeing what I'm seeing.
Well, and I mean, there's the option for the option to make money, like before podcasting and all of this, was just to tell people to follow the status quo. Like, America America is great. America is a meritocracy. Put your head down and work harder, and eventually things will come to you. You know, I don't know how, but, you know, eventually it will. There's just so much prosperity and so many wonderful things going on here. But then you go to work and everybody in this fucking smoke hut sees through all the bullshit. You know, you go on break and or the bar afterwards, and everybody knows that it's the fucking thing is rigged against us.
Yeah.
So that was what was missing. That's what's missing from this discourse, and that's what you see even with the MSNBC breaking down this week. I don't know how much it's going to. I don't think it's going to affect them that much. But once again, the people like us that are very tuned into all of this, man, they look pathetic. Chris Matthews looked fucking pathetic.
Yeah.
You know? Like, just embarrassing. And that was in front of everybody, and that was supposed to be a prestigious job that he's doing. You know, that was supposed to be something that we respected and thought came from like a lifetime of like service to the truth and all of that. And we're all, you know, I don't know. I think that, man, I've been listening to Ben Dixon a lot, his podcast.
Hell yeah.
And I think the way that he says it is the best is when he says, like, you know, we're doing this peacefully, and that's the nicest option you could expect. You know, there's no reason that we shouldn't be doing this anything else except for politely asking for the keys to the fucking Democratic Party right now. And then the other thing that he also says is that you know, he is not for burning everything down, but you can't control what happens when you take away people's hope. And that has stuck with me because that is where we're at right now. There is a lot of folks that were alongside of us that are watching what's going on with politics and what's happening, and you're taking away their hope. And if they are going to go all the way and steal our hope from ever having a candidate that the popular vote elects, I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but it's a variable. It's nothing that I could predict. But when you take away people's hope, it's going to be a very drastic, and it's going to be nothing you could ever plan for, you know?
Oh, there's plenty of historical precedent that shows what happens when people lose their hope. I mean, they tend, you know, there's at the top of the vertebrae, there's this like the C1 and C2 and C3. They tend to kind of try to separate those two at a point. It tends to happen in history. So yeah, man, it's if we don't get this one, and who knows what's happening. I mean, as of recording now on Tuesday, you know, the Dow Jones Industrial Index has dropped like fucking 1,800 points or something since I guess closing bell on Friday. Are we at the start of a new recession? What happens then? What does the opposition, the ruling class that literally has a member of its own as the head of government, you know, what will they do to stop us in between now and then and the de facto labor movement underneath Bernie?
Yeah, it worries the shit out of me because they hamstringed Obama with that. Like Bush ran the economy horribly and just handed over a catastrophe. And I think that Trump is fixing to do the same thing here at this point. If Bernie were to take over, I feel like it's going to economically fall apart and get blamed immediately on him. The same thing that happened when Obama was in office. And no matter how many times I tried to respectfully explain that to my conservative family members, they seem to blame it on like tax and spend liberals and shit, you know?
Well, Shane said this a while ago that like, especially if Bernie were to get into the office, is when we would have to fight the hardest.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, we're going to have to gird everything. We're going to have to back it all up. This is going to be proof of concept. And I think, you know, I mean, with Street Fight, exactly what we were trying to build. And there is a dude from Finland that is doing his thesis project on Street Fight Radio.
Okay.
And
very cool.
How we've been able to turn like listeners of entertainment into active political agents. And I think that I'm not going to take the credit for that, but I do know that a lot of the people that listen are the ones that are willing to go out in the streets. And this social media thing, even though it seems like it's fake because it's only online, it has turned the heat up on the rest of us where they're going to really just try to steamroll us. They're going to try to do a propaganda campaign. They're going to deny that Bernie Sanders won anything unless hundreds and thousands of us get out in the streets and observe this and tell them that they're not going to get away with it. So, what brought me to anarchy in the first place was that it was a lot of folks that couldn't agree on what anarchy was, but they were all down to cooperate, for something different and something better. And I think that's where we're at now, is the people now. I'm pessimistic and I'm an asshole about stuff sometimes, but the people that are activated, these are the ones that we will rely on if any sort of crisis situations happens in the future. And then, like you just said, these are the ones that we're going to have to rely on when it comes time to shut down people that are using status quo and, bullshit, standard arguments against doing things for the working class, because they both, Republicans and Democrats, aren't looking to help us out in any way. That's what I'm trying to relate it back to the Jeffrey Epstein thing, is like they're just the Bernie Sanders. They wanted to sweep it under the rug. And I think it's becoming more prevalent that there's no way they're going to be able to sweep that under the rug the same way that they did with Epstein,
Hell yeah.
Sorry, I talked too much.
Just to your
fantastic,
point,
man.
Just to your point, I know you might be sheepish to toot your own horn, but as far as street fight helping to get people out into the streets, present company included, that street fight helped me do that. Absolutely. And thank you.
Well, not a problem. It was easy to do. But I mean, I think that social media, there's something about social media, and that is there has already been a backlash against it about how it's bad for you and all of these things like that, or that it's not real life. And I think that we are at the point now where you can get your full fill of social media during the day, and you can get your Twitter hot takes and all of that stuff, but it still is going to compel you to do something in real life, because you can't, it is stupid to sit around all day on 6 hours on this website when you could go hand out free food for Food Not Bombs or something, or you could go to a DSA meeting or something. Like the amount of people that do have the time, and it becomes way easier to get access to when these actions are happening. That's the only hope that I have for the future. I'm very pessimistic about electoral politics, but when I go around and see that, people are not Nazis and people aren't alt-right everywhere I go, there is a lot of comrades, and, their online Republicans are way scarier online, and they've fallen apart over the last few years too. They haven't managed to keep anything together. They all look like assholes eventually and get embarrassed. And we've only maintained and improved our standing and gotten a bigger audience.
Right.
Can I keep going off? You want me to keep going off? I want to get your input on this. One more thing. I want to get your input. I'm going to get your input on this.
Go off, King. Go off.
I was saying to Brian that I was very intrigued right now by the way that Bernie Sanders was able to use media to his advantage, and that he was very much a poster in the early days and documented a lot of what he was saying and doing. And that has only helped him over the long run, because it makes all of his stuff look, more thought out, or that he is, he has a strength in his convictions.
Oh, yeah.
Back in 1987 or whatever, he was talking to that little girl about having more women governors and more women mayors. That was not him trying to get TikTok likes or anything. That's probably some AV geekery, and using the media that was available to show what it's like to do these campaigns. And now it's only helped him. That's the same. It's only helped Brian and I that we are so open and honest about what our lives are as podcasters and the struggles that we've come to. The honesty of the situation is winning. The people talking about the bleakness of work, people talking about what it's like to try to make it on $8 an hour, that's resonating with folks a lot more than what cable news is getting away with. And now we've got a bunch of activated people that are advocating for themselves, and I think it'll keep growing. I don't know why it would die down. There's no reason to give up at this point, Yeah,
on the Bernie point, no, and I love how every time one of those right-wing fucking shitheads on Twitter posts some video of Bernie saying something from the 70s or 80s, and it's oh, this is what world do you live in that you think this makes him look bad? He's had had the same convictions. He's been saying the exact same thing for 40 years. Like, what point do you think you're making? Like, thank you. Keep digging this up. This only makes him look good.
Real people get it. Like, working people, we get that. We appreciate
Yes.
that. Right?
Yes.
Like, it's only the fucking people that have an axe to grind and have an angle that are trying to tear it down. Brett, I think you're totally spot on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would like to see a video, and I would like to find some videos actually, because I would like to see a video of what Pete Buttigieg was saying 5 years ago. I guarantee you he wasn't talking like Obama.
Oh, he was probably trying to, like, microwave cats or something. He's like holding his hand over a candle and seeing how long he can hold it for.
That's the old G. Gordon Liddy, right? That was the old strength test that G. Gordon Liddy used.
Yes. Yeah, who knows, man?
You don't know that story?
No, I don't think I've heard this. No.
Oh,
G. Gordon Liddy at one point admitted that he would go get escorts and then would put a candle under his hand and show him how long he could keep it there for, like, how tough he was.
Psycho.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are.
psycho.
Total psycho.
And I mean, like, I don't know. I've had some low moments certainly online where, like, I don't feel comfortable, like, being involved with the democratic process, and that comes only from alienation and disenfranchisement. That only comes from, in my life, when I was working in a warehouse and I got injured on the job, they denied my fucking claim. That's why that stuff that's what made me feel defeated. That's why I didn't feel like anybody cared about what my station in life was. And, you know, the amount of dislike that he's getting is working in his favor. And, you know, there's going to be a lot of folks that disagree, but we can drag them because they don't really give a shit. Like, a lot of the centrists and all of your respectable conservative relations, like, if you drag them all the way to free healthcare, they're going to complain about it, but who fucking cares? Like, you can just hit mute or, like, unfriend.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. They're not going to go in the streets. They can't be activated in any sort of meaningful way. I think that, like, I am impressed the amount of people that are traveling and using their transportation to be activated in a major way and spread a word or spread propaganda that's in favor of working class people. You know, it's refreshing for sure.
I want to be conscious of your time, and I know we one of us has to run as well. This has been an absolute thrill to have you on and Brian on. Is it cool with you that we wrap up, Brett?
Yeah, then no problem. Thanks for having me. Sorry for going on there off there.
No, this is look, it's like I said in the beginning, like, I can't pretend like it's not a thrill for myself. I'll speak for the rest of us as well to say that, like, you know, to be standing amongst giants here, and it's really, really cool and an honor that you were interested in coming on the show.
Well, I mean, it does relate though, because Wes Wexner was like my mom was a waitress when I was born. You know, my dad was a bricklayer, and they had stories about Les Wexner, and they hated his guts. And there was always, every job I had, there were stories about Les Wexner and how weird and crazy and stupid he was. But he had the most money of anybody in Columbus. So I think that it does relate to those weird feelings of being young and being, I hate people in authority and I hate millionaires, and then watching the same folks that tell those jokes and talk shit behind their backs go and, like, are thankful for their paycheck, or, you know, like, I'm just grateful I have a job. And it's like, well, it's a piece of shit job that goes towards enriching some sort of sex criminal. I don't know if I have to object to this. Like, I want to stop and say something. And so it's a big part of where Street Fight came out of, for sure.
Brett, we can wrap there, but just on a personal note, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
I saw you posted something a while ago, and you cited a term, the middle way. Do you meditate?
I do when I'm having a good day.
Yeah.
I read this book called Letting Go of the Person You Used to Be.
Okay.
By Lama Surya Das, and that was like my introduction to kind of like Western Buddhism and Dzogchen. And then I also read all of the what's his name? Sit Down and Shut Up. That guy too. Brad Warner. Yes.
Okay.
So Brad Warner's another guy. Yeah, I've actually, from an early age, not early age, once I moved out of my parents' house, I was really interested in Buddhism, Theravadan Buddhism, like the Indian stuff, not the Chinese like Fat Buddha stuff.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, middle way is something that I acknowledge in my life, and, it's moderation makes sense on a lot of things, but doesn't always work out. So that's kind of my reminder.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
what was your question about it?
No, I had last year gotten into kind of like Western Buddhism as well, and it was extremely instrumental in me just kind of like coming out of a pretty tough patch in my life and just trying to find something that was finding more of an anchor within myself that I carry with me instead of like looking for external things to try to get centered when things melt the fuck down and I lose hope. So that would have been very helpful.
No, that's for me too. I try when on my best days, I do meditate in the morning, just like 5 to 10 minutes very quickly.
Yeah.
Because like the natural programming of my brain is like, as soon as I wake up, it's just like, fuck shit. I got to do all this stuff. I'm behind in all this. I got to make breakfast. I got to pick somebody up. I got to pay somebody. I got to get this project moving. So it's like, for my mental health, it's very important for me to sit down and take 5 minutes and like get rid of all of that, like intentionally wipe my mind clear, so that it's not painted with all of these like really bad. This is my parents. Like my parents are very pessimistic and narcissistic people, and I'm very much programmed by them. And so I do wake up. I'm just mad that I woke up for the most part. So meditation is like a way for me to not to be mad that I woke up.
Dude, I relate 100% relate to that. To the being mad waking up part, not to having anything to cope with it. I haven't figured that part out yet.
Yeah, but no, it is a big part of it, and like it is funny, and sometimes it works, but I'm in a really bad in like a boom and bust cycle where I can have a few months of really incredible creative output and getting shit done, but then like my rocket just completely nosedives and I feel stuck.
Oh yeah.
And like, what's the point of anything, or why am I doing this, or if I solve today's problem, there's just gonna be another fucking problem. I just get real negative about things. So yeah, middle way is important to me, because also I'm not going to stop drinking. Like I'm not going to stop smoking weed.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to drink so much that I have a hangover, and I'm not going to drink so much that I'm like unintelligible, or I'm not going to throw my whole life away for whatever it may be, whatever my like selfish narcissistic fucking attitude is, or the self-destructive things, like I can be depressed, but I have to do it in moderation. Like I have to get my little sadness. I like listen to music that's sad. I like listen to and watching movies that are just heart-wrenching. And those are like my solutions to this stuff. But one of the big practices of Buddhism that I was really interested in before was going to like a graveyard and just meditating and imagining like demon souls like ripping you to death, just like imagining dying over and over again in the worst possible ways, just to get it out of your system. And like that's been a lot of like, that's just one of my coping mechanisms. I've talked about it, like if I get too high on edibles and it's like, oh no, I think I'm gonna die. And then I'm like, well, when I die, a lot of people are going to show up and they're going to tell amazing stories about me and paint me as like the best person ever. And I'm not going to know at all. So I guess that's not a bad thing. Like that's not any reason for me to stop what I'm doing or to slow down or to beat myself up, whatever it may be, Yeah. And the last thing, just because this came up, like when it comes to like when I'm saying about the meditation, like I would love to meditate every day, but I use it more selectively when I need it. But when it comes to routines and stuff that works for you, like the biggest part about routines is you have to change them as soon as they're not useful anymore. Because you spend so much time being like, I should have fucking worked out today. I should have fucking meditated today. And all of a sudden it's 6 months later and all you've been saying is, I should have fucking worked out today. I should have fucking meditated today. And you've lost like a big period of your life to that horse shit. When you could have just been like, let's figure out a better schedule and a better routine for where my life is right now, because I can't make it the way that it was before when it was working. This is just really raw for me because like the winter is such a sad time, and I've only made, in the last 2 years, I've spent like, and when the spring comes around, I plan how I'm going to have a good winter, because that's like the most concerned thing for me is how bad things can get for me in winter. And they have improved over the last few years. I don't know how much you listen, but like the Metallica thing has helped me in so many ways. It's just hearing someone being mad and sad and angry is enough for me to get it over inside of myself so I can go on with my own day. So like just giving into that kind of stuff and finding the thing that soothes your soul, is important. And the middle way part of it is like I need the bad stuff. I've tried to pretend my life was positive, and I've tried to live on like a perfect normal routine and, pretend that everything is fucking great and that I've got my life together, and it falls apart miserably in embarrassing ways that like I don't want to admit that I'm no longer doing all of the stuff I was bragging about doing before. So the middle way is like what works for me and like what makes me feel empowered and makes me feel like I'm behind the wheel.
Street Fight, I know Brian had to jump off earlier, but Street Fight's got some exciting stuff coming up, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we're working on a TV show for Means TV, the socialist streaming service. We're going tomorrow night to the premiere in Detroit. They're going to play a movie, but we're going to have in March, we're going to have some live video content that is, I don't know, closer to what we wanted to do from the beginning. Brian and I started writing, like we were writing like TV shows and sketches. There's Google Docs from like 2009 that are just weird sketches that we wrote that nice. I think we want to like dredge up and, try to rework into something. But the podcast was feasible. The podcast was the easiest way to do stuff. And this is going to give us a bigger budget and a chance to do some, straight up entertainment and jokes. It seems to be working so far. I feel like the whole world has flipped Street Fight, and now there is a platform for it. So I'm excited.
Hell yeah, we're excited for you.
Hell yeah. No, we'll be with you every step of the way.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Pleasure, Brett. Thanks for coming on. Stay cool, folks. That's our sign off, Brett.
Stay cool, everybody.
Stay cool, folks.
Stay cool, folks.